Monday. Welcome, everybody, to Power Talk. I'm your host, Jean Adrienne, and it's my pleasure to bring you information from all kinds of sources to assist you as you create your own reality. And today, my guest is a dear friend of mine. Her name is Saharra White Wolf. She is a Lemurian priestess. She does cosmic light language and sacred plant ceremonies, and she is an author. She's written 2 books. She's working on a 3rd one. So welcome, Saharra.
Thank you so much for having me, Jean.
You're very welcome. So Saharra, her website, you can find out more about her on Saharra White Wolf. That's Saharra whitewolf.com. But let's hear it from you. So I know that you're not originally from the United States. So how did you, A, get here? And B, how did you wake up to the truth of who you are?
Well, I think it's, I'm originally from Austria, and I met my husband, so I moved here, and it was divinely perfectly orchestrated because I really needed to be here. And while I was working in Vienna as a nurse, I got a book from my friend. It was called The Celestine Prophecies, and I guess I needed the name of synchronicity that just woke me up, and I started going on a very deep journey of soul searching and reading books, and everything started with Reiki, my basic foundation of energy work, and it has moved on to mysticism, mystery school studies, a lot of different kind of ceremonies that I was facilitating, from medicine wheel ceremonies over Peruvian fire full moon ceremonies with children, and I did shamanic drum journeys and past life regression work, Akashic record readings, and it all more or less brought me to the place of that it's really important that we really know who we are and find out who we truly are in our inside world, and that's what my first book is all about.
Yes, you know, the synchronicity, because I think the book that started waking me up was Celestine Prophecy as well.
Oh, wow.
You know, I read that book and I knew it was true. I mean, I just knew it was true. And then I began exploring, you know, myself, and, push has come to shove, and here we are talking about it on Power Talk TV.
Yes, that's exciting.
So let's talk about your first book first. So tell me about that one.
So when Spirit told me that I need to write books, I had a lot of resistance because I'm not an English speaker as my mother tongue, and of course self-doubt as what we have as humans. And so the first book, The Inside World, is more when I had the experience of the shamanic world, not really being totally multidimensional yet. All my books are based on my own experience with spirit. And it's about a boy, his name is Ezrael, who was chosen from the spirit world to bring in the high vibration of love to planet Earth. And it shows 3 colors, 3 dimensions, where the black one is the 3D world that we experience right now. The blue one is the spirit world, and the purple world is when our spirit connects with the inside world, with the spirit. And it shows through synchronicity how he actually starts connecting to spirit, and how spirit guides him away from the dark forces. And at the end, he realizes that his worst enemy is himself. And when he finds self-love and compassion for himself, that's when the world changes.
Gotcha. You know, and it's interesting that your native language is not English, but now I think you're probably more comfortable in the language of light, right?
Yes. It's my mother tongue, more or less.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what happened in the last 2 years after the first book was that I really went into another deep awakening. And if you would have told me 2 years ago that we are cosmic beings or star seeds, and I would have said, yeah, right on. And then I went to the first light language ceremony, which activated me. 3 days later, I started speaking. I went into different shamanic death experiences where it's really about, you know, bringing the ego into check and surrendering to the higher powers that are really around us. And that has started me to write my second book, The Remembering, because I started remembering Lemurian lives. I started remembering what I did. I started having, when I was speaking light language, that I received this inner knowing that was the Inner Knowing Trilogy. That's what my trilogy is actually called. And so it was just sometimes so intense that I had to actually write about it, because it actually grounded everything into this reality. So, yeah, the Remembering is the continuation of Inside World. It is about the same Azrael, but this time he finds his friends, his Lemurian starseed friends, and he works with them together to bring in the light, and works together with the light beings, with the cosmic light beings, to bring in and anchor in the new energies of love, unity, and compassion, what really the Lemurians are all about. And of course, there is the dark side, and so of course they have to battle against the dark, and again go through self-doubt, finding compassion for self and their divinity, and really connecting with their multidimensional higher selves. It's a very breathtaking, adventurous story, based again in the big colors, and it's exciting because also my friends who are on the journey with me are in this book represented. So mainly, although it's a fiction book, it's truly based on my own experience in life.
Yeah, it's real, unless of course it isn't.
Yes.
And so your audience is kids, the kids that are waking up today, but it's also as suitable for adults, I believe, as it is for children, isn't it?
It is for everyone, because we also have a lot of starseed parents who are also waking up, and especially the ones who always work on themselves, and these light workers who sometimes really felt separated when they were little. And there is a reason for it, because we are from a different planet, and the children right now are coming in with such a different consciousness level. They are already awake. So it's more or less we have to bring the parents also awake, so that they understand where these children are coming from, that we can raise them on a different level of consciousness. And for that, we have to do our inner work. And light language helps us on DNA, with DNA activations, and really bringing in more light into this world. And I feel that my books are inspiring for children and adults to find the divine within, and really meditating, uniting, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I wish that there had been books like yours around 60 years ago when I was growing up and dealing with the sort of the essential life crisis of not fitting in, not being really a part of the reality where I was. I mean, I always felt like I didn't fit in, and I had no clue, because certainly in that day and time, people didn't talk about star seeds or the fact that we might be from somewhere else. So I was just left sort of alone with my mental musings, and I was quite lonely growing up because I didn't have a lot of friends. There were a lot of people that just didn't understand me at all. So I think it's a beautiful gift that you're bringing into the world.
Thank you.
Yeah, so let's talk about Lemuria first, because it's very possible to me that there are people who are watching us this morning who don't know what we're talking about. So speak to us about Lemuria.
All right, I have never read a book about it. I'm just going to speak to you about my own experience and what I've got. It was an ancient civilization, and more or less we are now actually quantumly, so there is no time. So actually it's all a parallel existing universe anyway. So we have been, and I think you were there too, Jean, we were just like really in a very high consciousness state where we lived in a totally different vibration and a totally different connection with the earth, alignment and the magnetic fields. We had like telepathic communication skills, and of course we were actually seated here to really bring back these energies from the stars. And my flashbacks that I had from Lemuria is many times that I was facilitating plant medicine ceremonies in spirals, and that we were actually always preparing for what's right now happening, that to bring in these gifts and these energies of remembering right now to this planet Earth, to exactly right now to this ascension time, to shift the planet. So it always came to me that we were like brownish, as black hair, brown. It's like more like tropical fields, and I'm assuming this was one of the times in in Hawaii, where we had this civilization, and we lived much longer. We had this like hundreds lifespans, and of course there was no money system, and we just had this really beautiful high consciousness living. And then a lot of things happened. I had flashbacks of, there was another civilization actually when I was visiting Joshua Tree, and I'm in California, and I had this soul remembrance that there was actually as well a Lemurian city, that I was living there as well. We had these crystalline structures, and I think a lot of that is hidden underneath the planet because it was a long time ago. But this pyramid, the communication skills we had with other planetary systems, the crystalline grid pads we used. I mean, it was a very profound time, and I decided not to read anything about it. I decided that everything is going to come to me the way it's supposed to, and it's coming. My spirit guides have shifted from Native American guides to intergalactic guides, and I'm really choosing with who I'm working with, and I see where it's going.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about these crystalline pyramids. I've actually seen those in my inner work, and one of the things that's happening right now with this quote-unquote global warming is that a lot of the ice on the caps of the planet is melting. And what I've seen is that below the ice in the area that we call Antarctica, there's a whole city, a country of these crystalline pyramids.
Mm.
So as the ice begins to recede, I think we're actually going to see evidence of that. Can't prove it, but I believe that that's so.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So, call me crazy, but that's what I've seen, and I believe that to be true.
Yeah.
So, so can you share with our viewers today a little bit of light language so that they get an idea of what that is and perhaps get an activation from you? Would that be possible?
I would love that anytime. All right. So what I can really share about the light language, it's just because you speak the language of light, it's still, still needs to come to the heart. It's a vibration and it's a alignment. And I honestly also have seen, people speaking light language where it was not all totally pure. I think there's always a discernment to use with the resonance of the heart. And we can actually speak it together if you want, because you speak it yourself. All right, so let's just close our eyes. And today we're going to bring in the Elohim people, the group of Elohim, Barakara Arein, Oka Harakte Gedakada Ora Bakada Eha. Ekada Ora Arain. We're going to bring in all the Palladians, the high frequencies of the Sirians, the Arcturians, the Venusians, people from Lyra, to be here right now with activation, to activate our pineal gland and to activate our heart. Kura harakti da makadodora o e. Ida hatakto makada ikado ora arakra ara an. Ipara orakta ahi kura ora in. Bakada kura arakta ara ihi in. Imakadaha o e kuragra agito parada irakto kura akra hara e. Bakada orakta irakte in bakadakada ah. So take a deep breath.
So I felt that, and for those of you who are watching, just a little, if it's caused you to have pressure inside your head, just take a moment and connect with your body at the level of your body's higher self, and invite your body to balance the electrical and the magnetics in the craniosacral fluid, as well as the microbes. And feel how that just kind of gently eases that pressure off from the work that Sahara did with your pineal gland. Feel better? No, I do. Yeah, that was beautiful. I felt it in my heart as well as in my head, and it created some pressure for me that I needed to integrate. That's one of the things that I find, that when I'm doing work like this that raises my vibration, it takes my body a minute to catch up, because the body's dense, the soul's light. We're just light. That's why the light language, I think, speaks to us. I think it is our native language.
Yes, when I start speaking the light language, which is not linear instruction, I think that's really important to understand. It's not something that we can translate word by word. It's not like this is who, and then we go gada, ada, e. It's quantum, and we can really access the quantum space with this light language, and that's where we actually receive knowing and information. And what I've noticed, it's not like the information that we're receiving is always like, this star in this galaxy is this. It's more like it comes through a knowing, like, I'm a cosmic messenger. I've been everywhere, and interesting. Okay, let's go further. And then, like, sometimes having symbolism that's coming through me with the language, and I'm clearing myself with this light language. I play the guitar, I channel the light language, and it's a beautiful experience. And I'm just grateful that we have the opportunity right now that we can awaken to it. And I think that's why it's called remembering. I think it's something that's actually happening around the world right now, that people are starting to awaken, to question stuff that they always thought is true, and starting to explore different consciousness levels. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned a trilogy. So there's another book that is coming through you now, right?
Yes. So the second one was a Palladian transmission, and now I'm going to Arizona. I need to get activated, and then afterwards I'm gonna continue writing. So the third book, I'm not totally sure right now. I'm in a conflict, because the Palladians were telling me this is going to be one that's actually more or less based on the future, and it's called the Revolution, which honestly is giving me a little bit of like a stomach revolution. Like, wait a minute, it doesn't sound that great. And then there's this other part right now, that's the Emerald Green Circle of the Stars that I've been working with, and I've received a lot of downloads, and so I'm not sure yet what it's going to be called. I'm honestly just going with the flow and see what it's coming, because when we think about what's going to be the future for all of us, it's very big. It's like without money system, it is free energy. It is really taking the power away from like this one person authority system, and really bring it back to the communities, where the communities work locally together. I've seen, like what he was saying, like we're going to have like 12 light workers per community. There's going to be a very specific healing chamber of activation that we work with the communities together. Like really locally grown foods, and like really going back to the old ways of also preserving. I mean, it's a very interesting way that they have shown me what actually the future could look like. So I'm just going to go with the flow, and also work with my resistance to be open to whatever's going to come through.
And I like what you said, what it could look like. Because, we live in this quantum field of potential. And I think that's what people tend to forget, is that we're creating with every moment of every day, and certainly with every thought and every word. And I don't know that we know what we're going to want it to look like.
Exactly.
So, because we're all growing in consciousness, which is like so freaking cool that we're here right now. And I have to believe that we cashed in every one of our little cosmic chits right now to enjoy it.
Yes. I really believe that this is the life that we always have been waiting for, where I think this is the most magic shift, that I truly believe that what we did in Lemuria, all these kind of things, that's because we're here right now. And I think it's really an honor and privilege that we have so much good energy around us. Also, of course, there's dark light, but we have so many beings, light beings, who are really here to help us right now. And we just have to ask. We are the planet of free choice. And it's an inside job, and nobody gets a free pass. So it's a beautiful ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that we've talked about that you do light language ceremonies, you do sacred plant medicine ceremonies. You also do some amazing Akashic readings, going into the records and helping people to, kind of look at their potential and perhaps their past as well. So how can people avail themselves of your services, Saharra?
Thank you. If you go on my website, saharrawhitewolf.com, then you're going to find contact. You also have the explanation about the Akashic records. And also right now, what's really is my passion is I'm studying the whole private cosmic light language ceremonies over the phone. That's really bringing in whatever is supposed to be channeled through, but it's also the activation of the multidimensional steps for others who are really open for it. And it can be sometimes a little bit of an intense process, but I'm going to guide them through different breathing techniques so they can really ground it in. I also have a YouTube video about the remembering. It's in light language. It's more or less my morning prayer that I'm using every day, where it's really about saying, even though we go through sometimes dark times and not so easy times, I will always endure and I never will give up to find God within you so I can find it in the other as well. And that's really what also my book is all about. It's about divine love, unity, consciousness, oneness, and compassion.
That's beautiful. Well, this has been great fun. It's been very enlightening because we received a huge boost to our consciousness. So thank you very much for that. And I think we all got to experience the guides that you pulled in when you did that because they were very present. So viewers, SaharaWhiteWolf.com is her website. Check it out. Get in touch with her so that you can begin to do your inner work if you've not already and take yourself to the next level. So thank you so much, Saharra, for being with us today. This has been wonderful, and look forward to learning more from you and finding out about that next book when it's ready.
And she can also say one more thing. I think what's really important for me is right now that a lot of people are really experiencing very much hardship and suffering, especially the ones who are so open, who have a really hard time with bringing these energies in. It's like really, I just want to say endure. Reach out to people who really can support you in this. You don't have to do it alone. It's really right now the time to get together. And I just want to say we are doing a lot of light language meditation calls. They're also on my website. We do it 3 times a day. They're for free, 6 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 p.m. daily. You don't have to speak it. But we also work in the quantum field to really bring in the energies of compassion and support for these people who are really struggling and suffering right now. So join us.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Sharing that. So take her up on it, people. Get on the bandwagon, get in the flow, and become who you came here to be, because you are human beings. And stop trying to do. Let's all be. So thank you, Saharra. And viewers,
thank you so much.
This is going to be Trisha McCann, and we're going to talk about the Divine Feminine and Mary Magdalene. So I look forward to seeing you all at this same place next week. And until then, remember, people who take responsibility for their lives create the reality they desire.